among our favorites here on the show has a heritage restaurant there in Fort Lauderdale. It's red hot. It's smoking hot. Reno Sorbonne joins us here on the show, our hockey analyst. What is it that has these franchises turning on Gerard Gallant, no matter what level of success he has? Now, no longer coaching, but I mean, it was 3 times he was doing well with the Panthers. They threw him off the team bus in a snow dip in Saskatchewan. He was doing great with the Vegas Golden Knights, and they, sent him out to the Bunny Ranch there and said, "Hey, take one up the ass, Gerard. You're out of here." Doing well with the Rangers, and they wouldn't even sell him a knish on the street corner after a couple of years of what looked like pretty successful hockey. Well, what is it about that guy? Do you know anything on Gerard Gallant?
He was another one. You know, it's funny. First off, look, as a Panther fan, that shit that happened with him, that he got thrown off the plane or bus, that was the worst thing ever. If I were him, I would have waited for the whole front office to be like in the building, and I would have lit it on fire. Because that's bullshit, right?
They had Yager throwing his duffel bag out the window as they left him literally like in a snowdrift somewhere.
Yeah, like an orphan. It was fucking terrible, man. It was absolutely.
They gave him cab fare.
You know I'm the first guy, man. If I got a problem with you, I'll pack your shit for you, and I'll throw it at the bus myself. As I make the whole team just like defecate in it.
The time.
Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
I am woman. I am strong. I think we should start every day with a tribute to the women. Should we not, Mike Lubie Lubitz, and change our whole focus on the show because the women beat the men in the ratings. Yeah, that's a big story that's circulating. I don't know. What do you make of that? There was a phenomenon going on, which anytime you have a phenomenon, you have Lynn Sanity or you have Mark the Berg Fidrich on the mound or something that's attracting a ton of attention. In this case, it was Caitlin Clark, and for good reason she was attracting attention. She was playing the game at a different level than most of the women that we've seen in the past. The greatest of all time argument continues to sort of plague me. And I don't know, can you put that one qualifier in there? It is kind of interesting because that's greatest of all time. I mean, you shouldn't be excluded from being considered a great. And the fact that you have a championship doesn't mean that you're better than somebody that doesn't, as evidenced by the number of relative stiffs that have Super Bowl championships, or certainly when you look at the NBA, you can find guys. Is Robert Horry the greatest player of all time because he has 7 rings? Big Shot Bob? No, you wouldn't make that qualification. But can you use that as a qualifier to be considered the best to ever do it? That's an interesting question. I mean, when we're talking about guys like Ernie Banks or Marino or players that were tremendous that never won a championship, I mean, are you saying that they're the greatest of all time? I mean, in Marino's case, you might be able to make an argument, but I don't know. Even the most diehard of Marino fans, which I am, and Tony Segreto, I would imagine, diehard Marino fan, do you say greatest of all time? Can you really say that? Would you rather have Brady or Marino quarterback in your team? I guess is another measuring stick. But interesting that all this conversation centers around Caitlin Clark. But the fact that there was a phenomenon going on there, Lubie, I mean, it's great because one of the the positives about the whole Caitlin Clark thing was it did bring attention to this game. And all of the other women that participate benefited from shedding this bright light on women's college basketball. And I don't know that it's important to distinguish whether or not somebody was the greatest of all time. That's pretty tough to say. Like if you ask me for my immediate response, knee-jerk reaction to the question, who was the greatest boxer of all time, you would probably say Ali immediately.
Yeah,
but was Ali the greatest boxer of all time, or was he just the most, visible and recognizable and influential in other areas fighter that ever competed? And, yeah, he happened to be really good. At one time, Ali defied anything that you could ever possibly categorize a guy as a boxer. I mean, he was just so unbelievable as a heavyweight, so fast. The footwork and the hand speed was amazing. The one thing maybe that he didn't have is one-punch knockout power, unless you look at that thing in Lewiston, Maine, where he essentially said, "Hey, Sonny, your underwear."
Yeah.
And Sonny's like, "Well, hey, Joe, Jersey Joe Walcott was a referee. Joe, when do I get up? When the fuck do I get up?" 17, 18. Okay. But yeah, I mean, is it important to make those distinctions? Greatest golfer of all time. I mean, if you said Big Jack, are you out of your mind? No, but of course it would be this
Because
guy
of the
in
title.
most people's
Because
opinion. I mean, and you probably, I think you could say that without feeling any level of guilt or bias that Tiger Woods is the greatest of all time. And now this is great because I believe this. And Tony's going to join us later on, the great Tony Segreto, who is not a big fan of the fact that we see conspiracy theories in virtually everything that happens in the world of sport. And maybe everything else too, especially when it comes to degenerate gambling.
Mhm.
And in this case, I believe the Russians, through some kind of bizarre, evil, sinister artificial intelligence, are pushing all of America. Here it is. I mean, I'm sure it's on the sports page, front cover, the sports page, virtually every. I mean, do people get enough newspapers for this to be influential? That they're pushing you to believe that Tiger can win the Masters.
Oh God.
Do you think that's a Russian conspiracy, just devised by whatever Russian component there is that's involved with FanDuel and DraftKings? They want you to bet your money on Tiger Woods. We were talking about this yesterday, but this is even further evidence, huh? They have Tiger Woods talking about the fact that he believes if everything falls into place this week, starting tomorrow, that he can win a sixth green jacket.
There you go.
How much are you willing to bet against that, Lubie?
I don't know. I don't think I'll make
Would you
the
put
cut.
your house up against that?
I wouldn't know.
How much equity you got in the house?
I wouldn't put my house up on
Yeah.
anything, but I don't think he's gonna make the cut. Like that's where I'm leaning. I mean,
That's an interesting way to approach it too. He plays the course well. Can he even make it around the course? I mean, this is one of the things that people would tell you. And I've never been to Augusta National. Mayo Man has,
Mhm.
and others. I don't know. You would have to think that Tony Segreto had been to Augusta National, no, at some
big.
point in time to cover a Masters.
You think?
Yeah, you would think. I don't know that that's a certainty. I know my dear departed friend, who was also a mutual friend of the great Tony Segreto, the late great Jim Mad Dog Mandich. He made that an annual trip towards, unfortunately, the end of his life, which should have been about midway through, and he loved it, man. But everybody would tell you this that what you see on TV doesn't really do justice to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean the undulated greens, a lot of different things that you have to navigate there. I mean, it looks like it's flat, straight, and in the meantime, they say it's wildly, hilly, and the course itself is a real rough go in terms of walking all the way around. Holy Casey Martin, what are we talking about here? So if you have a bum ankle and you've had like 18 different surgeries on your legs and your back and every other body part, and the juice, I don't know. Do we throw the juice accusation or assertion in there, Lubie? What do you think?
I mean, I think he did stuff. I mean, it
He
feels like
had to, didn't he? He had to.
the way, not only his strength, but the fact that then he started to get injured a lot in the areas where you'll see guys on juice get injured, and then he was mixed up with that dude. Like, I don't know. There's too much there. And then the power he had, which was in a level like people hadn't at that time for his size. I don't know. He was on something. I don't know if it was straight up steroids and could have been HGH. I don't know what it was, but he was on something.
It's tell me what I'm missing here. If you were Roger Clemens and you could have any medical person in the world work on you, the Yankees obviously at the time they must have had a decent medical staff. No, somebody that was on the staff that you respect, some orthopedic guy or something. You could go to any doctor. I mean, it's like you're on Medicare or something. You're Roger Clemens, for God's sake. Money is not an object. In fact, most of these guys would probably gladly treat you just for the notoriety that they achieve. But would you go to Brian McNamee, some assistant equipment manager for the New York Mets, and say, hey, you know what? My wife's having a problem. I really want you to come up to my house here and treat her in Houston.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the fuck out of here.
Out of here.
You're going to a real doctor, aren't you? I mean, unless you're, Don King and you put a tax attorney in there to defend Mike Tyson in a rape case, you usually want to go to somebody that you think is qualified. And there would be like a million guys that you could find before, in the case of Tiger Woods. Why is this Dr. Galea, a guy who was under indictment in 2 different countries? There wasn't really, there weren't that many countries that this guy could go to without getting arrested as soon as he got off the plane.
I mean, come on.
Why is he making house calls at your place in Orlando?
No, I mean, come on.
You can't find a doctor in Orlando? Are there no doctors there with Disney World? You would think that there would be doctors that were, at least functional to the point where you could get some kind of treatment. Maybe you want to go see somebody else, but would you be phoning in this guy and having him fly into your home that what was under indictment in Canada. I don't even know if he was able to set foot in the United States after a while. Whatever happened to Dr. Galea? Is he in prison somewhere? Where the fuck is this guy?
I've only heard him tied with Tiger and then dealing with a lot of other shit. So I don't know. I mean, the dude to me, it's similar to Griffey, where he didn't get huge or anything like that, but it just is weird the chain of injuries he had successively, consistently. You know, he didn't have injuries most of his career, and then all of a sudden he couldn't stay healthy at all. Very similar to Griffey Jr.
Yeah, and he wants to know if we could give him the juice that we're on right now. It's one gummy bear. I mean, it's low dosage too. I mean, I have to have it before I even get out of bed. What are you talking about? Dysfunctional without that. All right, so Tiger thinks he can win the Masters. We say no. I mean, you have to be fooling yourself if you think he's going to win it. Now watch him go out and win it. I didn't think he could win it the last time. He killed me too. Because who was the little Italian guy that I had whose name now escapes me?
Molinari.
Nice one, man. Molinari. I had Molinari at like 25-1. He's leading the tournament. He gets to 13. He looks over. He sees Tiger's about to tee it up in his group. Boom, right into the woods. Shank 4. It was unbelievable. And everybody fell apart after that. They all crumbled. And then Tiger went on to win the thing. And you would have to say that was a fairly phenomenal sports moment. You talk about the great sports pictures. Walter Yost. Did you pronounce his name Yost, the guy from Sports Illustrated? It was I-O, like S or something. I think it was Yost. The guy was great. I'm a brilliant photographer. Sports Illustrated, well known. Before they now were known for their financial problems, which I believe they resolved, did they not? Jim Sarney would know more about this than I would, but I thought I read somewhere that there was a buyout of the company by some media company that wants to preserve Sports Illustrated, and they were even thinking about hiring the 3,000 guys that they let go back.
Yeah, something happened where they either had an influx of cash or settle some stuff.
Isn't that a good feeling, an influx of cash? I need that. I need a little infusion right now.
They're supposed to be hiring back a bunch of people, which is really cool.
All right, good. So therein lies, the whole idea. I mean, if you look at that picture and you see all of the people gathering that were coming together behind Tiger as he walked up 18, knowing that he was going to win the tournament. And everybody was running and running. And if you get like one of those overhead shots of that, it's a phenomenal scene, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Can it happen again? I mean, are we trying to get that feeling again? It's a futile attempt, isn't it?
Yeah. So even that Masters.
Like going back to the ex-girlfriend or the ex-wife, isn't it?
Yes, 100%.
Trying to get that feeling again.
Was miraculous. Was 5 years ago now.
Right.
Like that's my thing is the thing that was miraculous even then is 5 years ago now. And all he's done is struggle since then. He doesn't finish tournaments. He doesn't play a lot. He's had injury after injury for 5 years. Like to me, he's 5 years older.
He's crashed a couple of cars too in between that time.
To me, to go, well, he did it then. Yeah, it was 5 years ago then. I would bet more on him missing the cut than him winning the Masters.
More vivid image in your mind when you say Tiger Woods, right? I'm big into visualization, as you know, Lubie. Yeah. I can picture things that I was doing years and years ago. I don't know. Do you see yourself in scenes from years ago? Yep. Sometimes you're recalling. This happens especially on my walk of life when I'm kind of reflecting on what the fuck am I doing now. And you can see yourself. I mean, going all the way back to a very young age. You have barely scratching the surface of when your memory bank kicked in. And you can still see yourself doing certain things, which is always great. I don't know. Maybe Tiger sees himself, obviously, winning this thing. I don't know that he would go out there, but is that alone enough? Or I mean, you're talking about what if they win it at 10 under? That's a par 72. The Masters Augusta National. They didn't cheapen that down to a 71 or a 70, did they? And we're missing a couple of par 3s, but no, it'd be like a par 5s. It's great, though. I love the tournament. You know what? It is kind of I have to give it to him. It's a tradition like no other. When it's on TV, I'm watching. I'm listening to the hokey music. Can you give me just a little bit of it? I want to get the feeling for this thing. Because, I mean, you hear the birds chirping there, even though we found out later on that they were phony and they were piped in. They may as well have been created by artificial intelligence. That was weird how they discovered that, too, that CBS, was piping in phony noise on the Amen corner there when you hear these birds chirping. And some guy that was from the Audubon Society phoned in and said, "Hey, wait a minute, man! I hear the sound of a northeastern St. Louis yellow warbler,
Yeah, that's
and they are not. What would it be? Indigenous
Yeah,
to Augusta
that
National? It's not a bird you would fucking find there," is what he was saying.
was classic.
Like, what?
That was
They're
great.
piping in bird noises? That's really a Looney Tune thing. So you don't think that they can create a scenario with you don't believe my conspiracy theory that the Russians are pushing everybody to bet Tiger Woods, and that maybe there's some oligarch guy that wants to get his boat back that is betting enough money on Tiger Woods to influence the tournament to the point where Tiger actually wins the thing. How
I
great
mean,
would that be?
someone is, because these headlines are up there. You're seeing these headlines, and I again, I don't see the guy finishing the tournament, let alone fucking winning it.
Yeah.
So someone's, and I don't know anyone that I talk to that expects Tiger to win the Masters. So someone's coming up with this. It could be Russia as much as anyone else.
Yeah.
It actually feels like that.
Well, it's 2 days in a row now. I mean, yesterday's headline, this is in the New York Post, so I imagine, like I said, it's widespread around the world. They allude to the fact that his practice round was sensational. And then they always have the quotes, the gratuitous quotes from the people that think that Tiger's going to fall flat on his face, the other golfers.
Yes.
And, and I'm sure that they're happy that he's in the tournament because, number one, it's going to create a Caitlin Clark-type sensation. If he's in contention, wow, on the third day, can you imagine television ratings? I mean, holy Caitlin Clark. What are we talking about here? Everybody's going to be watching all of these stiffs, and sure enough, they almost convinced me that it might be worth a shot there. Big night of local viewing. Oh, there you go, Louie. Thank you. I thought we were doing a little exit
I had to
music here.
fucking find it. We haven't used this in a long time, so.
Butler fucking cabin, man. A pimento and cheese sandwich. Mayo was trying to sell the fact that was actually good. Come on, Mike.
I don't know.
On white bread.
Yeah,
What are we? I don't care that it's $1.
It doesn't.
Keep your dollar. Yeah.
There's a reason it's $1.
The fuck eats a pimento and cheese sandwich on white bread in the middle of the day, man?
Yeah,
A little packet of mayonnaise, maybe some relish. Not exactly what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about Mike Mayo's lunchbox. That's for sure. All right, I watched the Marlin game last night. I watched a good portion of the Heat game, especially since it went into double overtime. Is that the kiss of death for anybody that has an under?
Yeah.
It really is. It's Terry Schiavo City. If you had the Hawks, I think the Hawks were getting a couple of points last night as they were a home dog, always a favorable situation in sporting wagering. Usually something that you have to take into serious consideration. Home underdogs in the pros. And I would imagine, also holds up on the college ranks. I don't know what the all-time record is of home underdogs against the spread, but I'm thinking it's favorable, Lubie, maybe to the tune of, what, would it be 60%, which is what you're trying to accomplish if you're going to grind out a living betting sports and actually trying to make a profit, trying to take something that hits at about 60%. And I would think that would be it. But you had to be screaming, miss it. I mean, you want your team to lose at that point, don't you? The Hawks, the only thing that could kill you was overtime. And then subsequent to that, double overtime. Hawks had plenty of opportunity to come back and win that game. They were down 14. Heat started to fall apart. Spoelstra had that look on his face. And what's the story with this Jovic? Remember, everybody was saying he was an invaluable asset, even though he wasn't playing, and that the Heat have to keep him around. They kept him around. He didn't play that much this year, and yet when you see him out there in the court, wow, last night he really carried the team to that victory.
Yeah, it was funny. Is supposedly in the first half he was really good. I didn't get to see much of the first half. The second half that I watched, he didn't do much. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what they're talking about.
He had a good run there where he just was making three after three.
I guess in the OTs, he saved their ass because they couldn't score to save their life. And then I guess he literally carried them, which you would think, then why not use him more? Because Bam right now is nothing. The dude had 10 points. And
I didn't even notice him in the game, Bam Adebayo.
The only reason I
really didn't.
He had 3 horrible turnovers. He literally went to go for a dunk and lost the ball. He had the ball, was trying to do trying to like step and then fell, and they called a travel. And then he went to go to the basket again when no one was there for a dunk and lost the ball. And I was like, okay, Bam's in a really good place right now.
Well, if that was the only game you saw this season and you saw Bam Adebayo, you'd think, how is this guy an all-star? But the guy, he has been good, Bam Adebayo. He's having a hell of a season.
He's just ever since the All-Star break, it's
not quite the same. Okay.
Yes, like Scoop said, he does everything for them, so eventually he gets exhausted, and that's literally what happens every year.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what to do with that.
Don't they need Zach Edey
They need a big.
Yeah.
Look, Jovic. I don't mind if Jovic is the answer. He's a 6'10", and he actually has some size to him, and he's
Plays
playing.
outside though, for the most part.
But I'm hoping on defense at least he can help him on the inside a little bit and do some of the things that Bam you don't want Bam to do. I don't know. I mean, so far he's been helping on the offensive end, and he does go to the perimeter, leaves room for Bam inside. The problem is Bam's useless. Bam's literally doing nothing. He's just not even involved. It's really weird.
Yeah, it was an interesting game. The Heat coughed up a lead, 14 points. I don't know. Did they trail by a point at one stage?
Oh, yeah, second half they got down.
Oh, and they were behind. I think were they behind like 4 points at the beginning of the overtime, right?
Yes, they got down by 4. I figured the game was over.
The Hawks playing without Trae Young. The Hawks look like they're going to nail down the 10th spot.
They're the 10. They're the 10. I mean, they're doing the thing they did last year. They're openly talking about trading their 2 best players.
Yes,
before the game. So you would think
haven't exactly been a soundly run organization for some time now. Holy John Concac, what are we talking about there? So that was good. I mean, and it leaves the Heat where, Lubie? What are they trying to accomplish here? Get out of the? They still have a chance to get out of the 7th and 8th hole in the playoff run, and so
Yes.
I mean, important that they win these games, especially when they're playing a depleted Hawks team without Trae Young in the lineup.
Yes.
And they had their usual injuries, but they weren't to the essential players that you normally point to. This guy Highsmith. Did they have 2 Highsmiths on the team? Did they have Alonzo Highsmith also?
They have Haywood Highsmith.
Haywood, yeah.
Highsmith.
He's a pretty good player. He's always making a contribution when I see him.
He's good, except for at the end of regulation, he bricked 2 fucking free throws that probably would have ended the game, which is annoying for a guard forward to do, especially in crunch time. They have the problem is Hopkins Jr. hit that rookie. He got hurt and has not been the same.
Yeah.
Hero has actually come in and given
Hero looked great last night.
You come in, give them a lift, but Butler is just not himself. That's really what it comes down to. Is everyone else is playing fine. Martin's. It's weird that Martin gave you 1 really good series last year in the conference finals, and ever since and before, you're always like, "Where's that guy?" Like
not as dynamic as he was in the postseason this year.
0 points. How can you play 27 minutes and have 0 points?
Yeah.
So and Duncan Robinson's hurt now. Rozier's hurt now, and those were guys that were really helping them out a lot.
Yeah, Rozier didn't play.
Yeah, no, he has a neck thing, and so he just said, "Screw it." They're keeping him out. But again, it comes down to Butler. Butler ended up having good numbers in that game, but he goes long stretches with doing nothing on both ends. At least before he would play defense. Now it's both ends of the floor where you're like, "Fuck, come on, Butler."
They're not going for those fakes for the most part. And then on top of that, he's not getting a call
at all.
Yeah, he did get one last night at a key point in the game, late in the ball game. He got Bogdanovich to go flying in the air, and he comes down. He barely rubs the guy. He did one of these, and so he got the call there, and it was probably a correct call. I can't think even the most diehard of Hawks fans couldn't have argued with that. And then on the local scene, we're going to bring Tony Segreto in here. But had the Cats that they shut out Ottawa for the 3rd time. If you could play Ottawa every night,
yes, please keep playing Ottawa.
Have a perfect record, man. Ottawa sucks.
They needed that.
And I would imagine Tony was focused on this because I don't know how big Tony Segreto. How are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Fine, thank you. How are you? Hey, Lubie.
The one and only.
Lubie, you finally got a haircut.
I did get a haircut. It was
I think he gets one every day, Tony. I'm not sure.
Oh, I needed one. I hadn't got one for 2 months. I looked
Shirley's a barber.
I looked like I lived on the streets.
Yeah. I lived with a woman who was a hairdresser for several years, and I had to beg her to give me a haircut. I really did. But it was always good because.
Who didn't you live with?
Well, I mean, it's an interesting question, Tony.
Didn't you live with?
I have had a series, an assortment of failed relationships. I'm not ashamed of that. Maybe I could have done better. Was it me? There's a consistent problem there. Is it you? That's what you have to ask yourself.
Yeah.
The walk of life. That's my whole theme. Is it me? The hell did I do?
Is it me?
Hello, it's me. Were you zeroed in on the? Never mind my personal life, Tony. Have you zeroed in on that? Did you zero in on that Yankee game yesterday against the Marlins? I would imagine this was one of the few times that you were tempted to watch a full game of Marlins baseball.
That was one of the few times I was tempted to watch a full game of Marlins baseball.
And what did you think? I mean, your Yankees prevailed.
Yeah.
Are you still a diehard Yankee fan? Yeah, you were the Yankee hat. What am I talking about?
Oh yeah, Yankees. They're doing well. They're doing well. They're starting out strong, and Soto is just going wild.
He's been good. Yeah.
He is really, really going wild, and Judge will catch up, and that's one hell of a lineup. That's
Stanton's
Stanton started the year 3 for 24 with 13 strikeouts, but the last couple of games he's awakened from the dead. The ball must not have been carrying last night at Yankee Stadium. I don't know. I don't remember that kind of a condition at Yankee Stadium where the ball just hung up. I watched Soto crush the ball, and it was caught by the fence in right center field around 380 feet out there. When that left the bat, I thought, wow, that's going into the Bronx River.
It's gone.
And then Stanton hit one just like that. It looked like it was going to be 20 rows deep, and it was caught actually before it would have hit off the top of the wall. Had Dela Cruz was playing left field for the Marlins, makes the catch. But and then Volpe, who was an interesting story, right? This was a guy that idolized Jeter, and he becomes Yankee shortstop last year. And there was a big debate whether he was going to get the nod last year. He did, and he really was weak at bat. I mean, he was a horrible hitter. They could see that he had skills, but this year he's off to a flying start, and he crushes one. I guess it was foul, Tony, but. I don't, I didn't see the replay of it.
He had a lot of hitting instruction in the offseason.
Yeah. Well, he's hitting well. I think he was batting. He might have been batting 450 going into last night's game. But and I had a little Twitter debate, not Twitter, texting debate with Jim Sarney, who was trying to imply that AJ Puck, the Marlins starter, was actually pitching well. And I'm thinking. This guy is some thin air away from, having giving up like 16 runs in this game.
Is he out of the hospital yet?
My God, he got tattooed, Tony.
Is he out?
So,
Jim Sarney
1-11. 1-11 on the Marlins so far. What do you think?
I think you're going to win your bet.
Yeah.
We're going to coast to our fucking bet.
I want to cash now. I think they should give us our money now. No, 1-11. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Wait 60. How many? Wait 70 days, and you'll have your money.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have a
biopsy. I don't know how they can continue doing this. Right. The big debate was whether AJ Puck belonged in the starting rotation, which you would have to say. The answer is no to that.
Sixto. Does Sixto outing without giving up a run? Like, is Sixto come out at all and ever? I feel like he gives an automatic run every time he comes out. Sixto Sanchez.
Yeah.
First of all, is Sarney still in the hospital?
No, he's out. He got sprung.
He's out.
So,
yeah, he made bail finally.
Yeah.
So he's in the right frame of mind.
Sure.
I hope so. I mean,
the things he texts me about are utterly ridiculous.
He's as insane as ever. I mean, when it comes to his sports viewing and what he considers would be topical material on this show. Yeah. Did you watch the national women's team tie Mexico yesterday before they won on penalty kicks?
I caught the last bit of it.
Oh, you did? Wow. Okay. See, you and Sarney very, have some strong parallels when it comes to sports viewing. So you guys, no doubt, would get along if you were living together.
I watched the women's basketball final.
Yeah.
And it was spectacular. And the men didn't even come close.
See, that bothers me that people are making a big deal about that. Well, why not just say, hey, it was great that the women got this viewership, but we know how this goes in sports and in life. It became a phenomenon, Tony. It was a phenomenon that everybody was attracted to, and it was good because it put it in the spotlight. But
yeah, it really was.
Is it necessary now? It's funny because now we're having to defend the men's game, which I thought, from the standpoint of being a basketball purist, it was far more entertaining than the women's game was. Far more entertaining. Just watching basketball as a game.
Not me.
No? You like all those bricks on the inside? I mean, how many missed layups do you get in a ball game?
I'm not going to get into debate, but it's.
You brought it up though, Tony. You opened yourself up. I mean, you opened up the body there. I mean, you can only go peekaboo for so long.
Debate.
I don't know. There needs to be debate. It's funny. Everybody wants to make these distinctions. It's two separate things. It's good that the women got the draw on the audience. Men's college basketball, not the most popular sport around the country. Certainly, it's a 0.0 down here. You know that. In terms of television ratings, when CBS, you were NBC. See, you didn't give a shit. You were happy CBS was getting buried with college basketball every Sunday.
I was just happy to see that the women keep getting stronger. The men, they're still the same, and it was a good tournament all the way around.
Yeah, it was entertaining. I got caught up in the thing. I don't mind though. See, I'm not quite as radical as Lubie is on this. Where I will watch, segments of women's basketball games periodically just to see what I think. And certainly, any star the level of Caitlin Clark is an attraction that you probably should take in if you're a sports fan. She was great, although she did shoot 5 for 20 after they sicked this Michael Cooper transgender girl on. No, I mean she did a fine job, but you would have thought she was Bruce Bowen. I mean, and you know what? UConn kind of put a little bit of a limitation on Caitlin Clark. I forget the name of the girl, number 10 for UConn.
Raven, something.
They had her. I mean, she was picking up Caitlin Clark full court, which is very annoying if you're a scorer in basketball. As you know, Tony.
Yep.
It's like, would you give me a break? I mean, why don't you back off? I don't need to know what you had for lunch. But when somebody's on you like Velcro like that, and did you notice this, Tony? And this may be something to follow in the pros. And Gino Auriemma, you would have to say, pretty sharp coach. No, you would,
He is,
regardless of what you think of, the way he conducts himself, which isn't awful. It's just, it's Trumpian, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he ran for president, he would be telling you, how great everything is that he does. But they shaded her. I guess Caitlin Clark loves to go to her right, and they were trying to force her to go left. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did.
The entire time. I mean, they were doing one of those deals where they're saying, "Go ahead, your first step is going to be to the left," and I think it impeded her quite a bit. That they kept tempting her to go to her left, and it was kind of interesting. And I was thinking they're going to do more of the same of this in the championship game, but she got off to such a flying start. And then South Carolina just had more good players. All right, Tony, we're going to come back. We have a lot to discuss. Ed Garcia is going to join us as well from Texas Roadhouse Restaurants. Have you been to a Roadhouse lately, Tony?
No, I haven't been since
last time was the box, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'm thinking about going Friday or Saturday.
Nice.
Or looking to put something together. Yeah. Thinking about my grandkids love the place. Believe it or not, that they're absolutely, dead on fans, and that's very, very gratifying to their parents, Jesse and Kelly DeForest, because it's so affordable for a family. That's one of the great things.
It has to be, and it's not surprising that they like it, but it's surprising they love it.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, a lot of variety there, and I keep thinking about that bone-in ribeye at $32 with 2 sides. You got to be kidding me, Tony. Kidding me. Those are Stone Age prices.
I tried a bit of that. I tried a bit of that, if you recall, and I used a fork to cut.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
Yep.
And it wasn't like some thin variation of a bone-in ribeye. This was a legitimate steak. All right, we're coming back with more. Tony Segreto, Ed Garcia from Texas Roadhouse Restaurants. Have we talked to Ed since Dusty May became the head coach there?
No, we have not. We have not. When last we talked with Ed, I think Howard had just been fired, and we sort of tiptoed on that.
You think he'd be wearing like a maize and yellow basketball head?
Did you call it, Jeff?
What, Dusty May?
He said
I don't know about Michigan. We knew he was going somewhere. But, you couldn't have anticipated he was going to stick around. That was my one big observation, Tony, as I went to that FAU game with Leslie Visser, was that the likelihood of this happening again is scant, that they were going to make a Final Four. They just don't have the tools all the way around to do it. I mean, no disrespect or denigration of FAU. The fact they made it there is phenomenal. But, I mean, when you're looking at that versus, say, the University of Kentucky, which is crying for a winner, who's more likely to get one? Yeah. FAU or Kentucky? Or, in the case of Dusty May, Michigan, which he's got a lot of work to do there. Well, they were horrible this year, weren't they?
They were rough. Yes, they've been rough the last couple of years, and then he also had the issues a couple of years ago. It's a breath of fresh air for them to get Dusty May.
I love that. But was that ever ascribed to you when you got a new job in TV or radio? Tony Segreto comes in to replace so and so, and Tony is a breath of fresh air.
A breath of fresh air.
Breath of fresh air.
With it.
Was that the kiss of death to be labeled a breath of fresh air? I mean, you were likely to get canned from the job within 2
I
weeks.
overcame it. I overcame it.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we're coming back with more Tony Segreto, Old School, brought to you by Texas Roadhouse Restaurants here on the Defo Show with the great Mike Lubie. Lubitz in a moment. Now that
The time.
it is 8:39.
Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched, steaks hand cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
What we gonna do right here is go back, way back into time.
We are now kicking it old school with the one and only Tony Segreto, brought to you by Texas Roadhouse.
All right, so the Yanks beat the Marlins 3-2 yesterday. The Heat win in double overtime, and as Andy alluded to on the chat line, what a kiss of death. I mean, you have the Hawks. You're getting a couple of points at home, and the only thing that could kill you is if the game goes into overtime. Then in overtime, you take a brief lead, and you just want to decide it either way right there by a small margin. And the next thing you know, you go to double overtime, and it's Brick City for the Hawks.
Yeah,
And you end up losing and losing to the point spread, and you feel like an asshole. And you're like, what the hell was that?
Did you bet the game, Jeff?
I thought about it. I had a mind bet on the game, and I would have taken the points with the Hawks under the theory that I think it's applicable in almost all professional sports and maybe college as well. Always take the points with a home dog.
Yep.
And you'll probably, I would imagine, you win a higher percentage than you lose. I don't know, Tony. I don't have any data on that, but I'm just assuming that the home dog is always a good play. Overall, I mean, you're talking about you have to do it every time, and if you do, you probably, I would think you carve out close to 60%, of victories, which is enough to grind out a profit over the course of time. I don't have that kind of patience, though, Tony. I don't know about you. You do. You have that kind of patience.
I do. I do. But the older I get, the more impatient I become.
All right, so you want instant gratification like the rest of us, which is not necessarily profitable when it comes to wagering.
No.
And then I didn't see any of the hockey game. I did,
I didn't see the hockey
catch the
game at all.
2-0 over Ottawa.
They were fine.
Stolars with a shutout, so that was a good thing. Also,
You're right, though. They need to play Ottawa every night.
Yes, that's the only team they play well against. They've struggled lately.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, maybe they get it together for the. I think they kind of come back together for the postseason and play a little bit more indicative of the way they were throughout almost the entire year before they hit this
That's
recent
what
spell.
happens. You play well 82 games, and then they're tired.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
My sleeper team to win the Stanley Cup, Tony, is the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina. I don't know why. I'm just thinking nobody considers them. They're not a glamour team, but they were knocking on the door the last couple of years. Seem to be playing well. Sleeper team to win the Stanley Cup. You heard it here. But what would it be to have a Tony Segreto old school segment without suggesting some kind of conspiracy? Could you live with us, Tony, if we didn't do this? If we didn't drag you into this nonsense?
I couldn't live with it.
Okay. Here it is. I believe the Russians are stimulating this movement that they're trying to convince you to bet all of your money on Tiger Woods to win the Masters. El Tigre
on Tiger the other way.
He says that he has the capability to win this thing. Now we know the adage: no athlete believes that they're going to lose, or they wouldn't even bother. right? They're super competitive. Where would you be more inclined to go, Tony Segreto? Then he would not even finish the second round or win the thing overall.
I'm betting that at least he makes the cut.
You think he makes the cut? All right. See, I'd be inclined to bet against that because it would be an unpopular stance.
That's what the bet should be.
Makes the cut or not?
And
I'm
then,
thinking, what? Are you getting a price if you bet against it? The odds, I didn't see any odds on that, but I would imagine there are some out there.
There are.
No, he plays the course well. We know that. Obviously, he's been a 5-time winner there. And the last time was 2000. Lubie said 2000.
Would that be a story, Jeff? Just excuse me 1 second. Would
Yeah.
that be a story if he did? If he was
Oh, it'd be insane.
It would.
On the third day.
I believe it's impossible, though. I would say. Now, have you been there to Augusta National?
I have never been.
Wow. That's a surprise. Wow. We have a guy with us that probably plays there as he may even have like an honorary membership at Augusta National, which is not easy to achieve. But joining us right now from Texas Roadhouse Restaurants via telephone. Now, we always love seeing Ed Garcia, but he's with us here. Ed, how are you, my friend?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning.
Where are you,
doing
Ed?
quite well.
Where are you?
I am actually hanging out in Daytona today. So,
Oh, nice.
yes, it is definitely, you can tell spring break. Hotel rates are really high and everything is busy, but it's a beautiful location. If you've ever been to this Texas Roadhouse, we're just south of the racetrack on a huge lake. It's very, very, very beautiful spot. I do enjoy coming up here and hanging out for a couple days. But anyway.
Well, Ed, we haven't talked to you since Dusty May got hired. So what do you think with the basketball at Michigan?
It's going to be very, very exciting season. I feel like we're going to be doing a little bit of rebuilding, but hey, the gang is coming together, and really excited. Just kind of see what the next couple of years are coming. The recruiting class and with the transfer portal, things are still a little shaky, but hopefully we can maintain and continue to grow. But overall, and even this season, very exciting. March Madness. Just a lot of fun going on right now.
Do you have a maize and blue basketball head? We thought if you came on by video, you might be wearing that today. Now that the basketball program is going to be prominent again.
Yes. Well,
you do have one.
We'll hopefully. Yes, I do have one, and hopefully I'll be catching a couple games this year. So let's go. I have pretty much anything's maize and blue. and on a fun note, I thought about Tony on Monday. We had our annual softball tournament with all the Texas Roadhouses, and we actually played over there in the Melbourne area. There's the big USSA fields, and we made a team for just all the managers, and should have saw the jerseys. They were very beautiful. They might have been maize and blue, matching maize socks, and yes. I'll send you a picture. We look pretty good. I'm going to say that.
We need to have one, Jeff. Ed, you need to get 3 and send it to us. We'll wear it on the air next week.
Player. We can be, I don't know if we're ringers at this point, but
yeah,
be a part of the team.
I should get. I'm going to get you guys jerseys. So I'll pick up your sizes, and it'll take a few weeks, but maybe one day we all wear them on the radio show. That'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be great, yeah. Tony, weren't you? Was this fast pitch or slow pitch, Ed Garcia? Because Tony, a masterful slow pitch, high arc softball pitcher, had an incredible record. He was like the Whitey Ford of softball pitchers for many years. Oh, he had that little backspin he would put on the thing. You know how they did that? That was awesome. Yeah.
We have in the rules you got to work 2 shifts a week. So Tony, you pick your position. We're gonna start grooming you here at Texas Roadhouse.
Can I be a manager? Operator.
Taste the bread.
Yeah, Tony coming out there with a roll and butter as he's taking out the pitcher.
I'll taste the bread at every table.
What's happening around the board now as you transition into how could it be in springtime? What's happening at Texas Roadhouse? Do you guys change with the seasons a little bit?
No, and that's one of the great things about Texas Roadhouse. We love to stay consistent and, just really focus on our number ones. And that's that fresh baked bread, keeping it, out of the oven fresh every 5 minutes, and our hand cut steaks. And, that's actually why I'm hanging out here in Daytona. We're doing just my job for the next 2 days is just to do a very thorough, quote unquote, inspection of all the food. So trying everything from A to Z and reviewing all the recipes with the team. And, and again, because it's made from scratch, a lot of it is made from scratch that we have to, there's a lot of stuff involved. So, but that's what's cool. You're going to come in and you're going to get your favorite meal prepared exactly the same way. And hopefully all our Texas Roadhouses, we strive to just have that legendary execution. So other than that, you're going to get some ice cold beer, good time, and, just a great ambiance with some toe tapping music.
I think Mayo's on a tour of Florida colleges right now.
Yeah.
So he may be in the area. He sounds like the ideal guy to help you with that over the next couple of days. Trying everything.
Hey, Ed,
absolutely.
isn't it now that you rely on the, your nuts and bolts, the everyday, the people that come in every day, every week, just the locals that you just thrive on them now.
Yes. And, it's just one big happy family, Tony. And that's what's great. People love coming in here, whether it's once a week, every day. And, the staff takes great care of them. The guests take great care of us. And we just, it's just a phenomenal, hey, it's almost having dinner every Wednesday night at home with the whole family all put together. We just have a great time with them with great value. And, our early dine and everything else, we just have some, you can get away with a really, really awesome dinner for a great price.
All right, one last thing. You're in the restaurant business, obviously, really, really expert at evaluating food and whether or not an item should be on the menu. What is your thought about a pimento and cheese sandwich on white Wonder Bread?
Hey,
is that something you would buy?
If I was in Augusta, absolutely. With one of those mint juleps and maybe a bourbon on the side.
Well, yeah. You have to have something to wash down a mint julep. I think my contention is that's the worst drink ever conceived.
That's not good.
Yeah, even when they were giving away for free in the press box at the Kentucky Derby, Lubie and I said, "Hey, you got a bottle of vodka or something?" This is disgusting.
I tried it at home, and it's not good.
I tried it in the Derby, and it's not good.
Yeah, if you were going to get one, though, Texas Roadhouse would be.
Yeah, Roadhouse probably would be.
Hey, we love you, man. Congratulations on the Dusty May thing. I know that was big, and thanks so much as always for being with us. We're looking forward to our next visit to Texas Roadhouse.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Let's go blue.
Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot. Ed Garcia, ladies and gentlemen.
Is he some? He is.
This guy is a working machine. My God. He's unbelievable, Tony.
He's going to have, 12 restaurants by the end of the year?
Oh, really?
Wow. No, you wonder. Look, you obviously did very well for yourself, Hall of Fame broadcaster, but you wonder, geez, did I waste my entire life? You look at a guy like this going and getting it at a young age and doing a phenomenal job. And it is true. Majority rules. And I would have to say that in terms of nitpicking, the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook page, no doubt, is light years ahead of everybody else. But when it comes to, you go to a great restaurant and they still find something wrong with it. But, Texas Roadhouse gets massive favorable reviews. So what we say about them is true.
You can pick and pick. But you know what? Yeah. Texas Roadhouse is just a good old-fashioned place to eat.
Yes.
You know what you're going to get. You can try. Even the fish is good, but it's just consistent each and every day. You can go on a Wednesday, you can go on a Saturday. Same thing.
No, fantastic. We were there at 4:00 in the afternoon out there in the boonies there in Miramar, which I guess it's
no longer the boonies.
Wow.
That's a really
that was swampland when I moved here, and nobody ever went west of University Drive. And then you're out there going, "My God, what is this? New York City? Traffic just flying around everywhere. A zillion cars, and place was packed at like 4:00 in the afternoon, and for good reason, right?" Yep. If you can turn, a guy who would normally dismiss this, with his sort of arrogance, Mike Mayo, if you could turn him around on a place like that, where, when we first brought it up, it was like, oh, how pedestrian. And you're like, okay, Mayo. And then he goes there, and if you had told him that was like a fine steakhouse, he would have said, wow, this place is great. And he would have wondered why they weren't getting, a consideration for,
Exactly.
the James
Exactly.
Beard Award. Unbelievable. But
It-
so that was good, and that's testament to how great the place is that even Mayo likes it.
If you told him you were going to a steakhouse
Yeah.
and just kept him blindfolded and sat him down and fed him, what can he go wrong? What can go wrong? He's going to have it.
Well, he might explode from all the stuff that he was eating.
Is he losing weight?
He's
I don't
monitoring.
know. We hope so. Yeah.
He's been monitoring his eating
Yeah.
much differently. So he's not doing big meals all throughout the day. He's not eating. If he's eating carbs, he's eating very light carbs. No, he's taking it very seriously. He's on.
Yeah.
His,
No,
I think the numbers were a little bit worse than what he said.
100%.
Oh, it was an alarming number.
His
it
number-
had to be. Yeah.
In regard to a certain illness that he's been trying to stave off was not good, and he's taking it very seriously. So and we
That needs to be addressed, no doubt. All right, Tony. So your prediction on the Masters is what? Are you going chalk? Are you going Scotty Scheffler? Are you going with the Live Tour players? You got Brooks Koepka. He's usually a monster in these spots, although nobody knows how the Live Tour players are playing because nobody follows the Live Tour. A lot of nondescript guys. I mean, is it a first-time starter? That hasn't happened since the great Fuzzy Zeller did it, like in the 70s.
I'm going to go with Tiger as an outlier because I believe that he's got one more in him.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, I think I got to make a heads. We had Johnny Chan on the show yesterday. We have to go heads up
That's
on this.
horrendous. There's no way.
Yeah, no way, no chance.
I have no.
So you're part of the conspiracy, is what you're admitting.
Yeah,
to
I think
here,
it's
Tony.
you.
You're part of the conspiracy that wants to tell people to bet Tiger Woods and lose their money. This is all put out by FanDuel. Don't you believe this, Tony?
What a joke!
The Russian entity of FanDuel is putting this information out there. How did they get a picture of Tiger on the back page of the New York Post? Get the fuck out of here. The Yankees won yesterday. They're like 11-2, and this is what we get: Tiger to win Masters.
No way.
Can't believe you're part of it, Tony.
That's sad.
Yeah, steering our
Man,
our
you
unsuspecting and
conspiracy.
loyal viewers, listeners to bet Tiger Woods in the Masters.
I mean, come on.
I didn't
Got to
say
be
bet-
150 to
I
1.
didn't
No,
say-
I mean,
I didn't say bet him. I said I like him.
Yeah.
well, I like him too. I mean, he's a great golfer, but
Right.
geez, to win the Masters, that seems preposterous, doesn't it?
No way.
Yeah.
Let's
Some
just say
nondescript European schmenk wins it. That's going to be my prediction.
it's gonna be
Nondescript
Scheffler.
European schmenk,
Probably
an
Scheffler.
Oosty or something. Yeah.
Scheffler's winning fucking everything. It'll probably be Scheffler.
Scheffler's winning everything right now. He's playing great. He's been terrific.
Yeah,
never
but
been. I'm amazed you've never been to the Masters, Tony
I have
Segreto.
never ever been.
Wow.
ever.
Mad Dog Manich never talked you into going with him? Marino?
No. Have you been to the Masters?
No, never been. I've never been anywhere near Augusta National, but
I
we were.
passed it. I passed it on my travels, but I never went.
Would you, if you were there, I mean, just out of tradition, which it's obviously steeped in tradition, as we know, much like the Kentucky Derby, but after sampling a mint julep at the Derby, you would never have another one again, ever.
No.
There would not be a drink that you would ever order. Would you stop by one of the concession stands there and say, you know what I want? Give me the old pimento and cheese on white.
I'd have to try it.
I would try it, but I don't understand singing the praises of it. I mean, like, come on. Like, it's
What
culinary.
the fuck? How about a bologna sandwich? Would be better, wouldn't it? Bologna.
No.
Peanut
No,
butter and
bologna-
jelly. No? Egg
bologna
salad?
sandwich. Bologna sandwich ranks the worst.
Oh, really? Oh, I loved it.
Well, I mean, it's not good for you, but
It's horrendous, but it was
I
great.
used to like a little bologna and cheese, no? One right there. Cut the crust off, Ma, please.
100%.
Yeah, no, that was not dynamite. But a pimento and cheese sandwich, that's really, like one of the things
gotta
that you
try
seek
it.
out?
I got to try it. Where can we get it?
No idea.
Probably any of the fine restaurants. Well, no, they probably wouldn't even make one.
don't
They
have
would
that.
consider it a disgrace, right? Imagine going to Kaizen there and ordering the sushi, the sashimi, and a pimento and cheese sandwich here for my
No.
friend.
No.
Wicked cheesesteaks. Could Brian put one together? Maybe.
Pimento
All
and cheese sandwich, please.
Yeah. All right. So you're going to mislead people into believing that Tiger has a shot here. Tony.
No. Listen, how I sit.
That's what I heard.
You say you like him to do something, though.
I got that.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
want to see him at least make the cut.
All right. Yeah. Well, it would be interesting.
Now,
If he makes the cut, will we see any other golfers during the telecast on
Oh.
Saturday and Sunday, no matter what situation he's in?
It'll be good for TV.
Everybody else will be on tape, right?
It'll be good for TV if he makes the cut.
You know what I love about golf coverage? This is my favorite aspect of it, Tony. You'll find this a little bit surprising, maybe, but whenever they go to some nondescript schmink, like we were talking about, and he's on like 15, and he's 4 under, and the rest of the field is 16 under.
You got to whisper.
And-
You got to whisper. He's on.
Well, and they show him make, all of a sudden he's standing over like a 52-foot putt. You can guarantee, bet your friends that's going in. Because that's on tape. And it's the only reason that they came to this guy, right? Otherwise, they'd be following Tiger Woods into the men's.
And it's going to curl around and bend it. And
It's destined to go in. Well, there it is. He's 5 under now. Maybe not totally out of it as we suspect, even though there are only 3 holes to play and he's 10 down. All right, should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. Are you a big Masters consumer when it comes to viewing?
I am too. This is the only tournament. It's become the only tournament that really compels me to watch.
Yeah. What do you think about the phony birds? Did that bother you ever? That they were piping in the bird noise? No. But I mean, why do they persist in doing it? I mean, now that we all know it's bullshit. That's the weird thing, because you'll still hear the bird noises when they go around Amen Corner. I figured you would have played this course, Tony.
Oh my God! I wish I would have.
Yeah, it would have been nice. Yeah. All right, we'll see what happens. Tony, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks to Ed Garcia for joining us, Texas Roadhouse Restaurant. So we'll see Tony. Maybe does he show up at Batch tomorrow there?
Oh, I don't know.
The resumption of the live mail lunchbox shows.
Not sure. I know
launches again.
He's been coming weekly to Gulfstream, so I guess we'll see. Who knows? I don't know.
You wanted to try this joint, right?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Is there enough food there for?
Food wise, they give us. I mean, they give us what we want. The food isn't the issue. It's just the setup could be the issue, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited to get back. Batch is freaking great.
I like the fact that the restaurants that we've been doing the shows from, they all know now what the MO is, what the modus operandi is, and that is before we even get halfway through the show, they bring 15 to-go boxes and put them in front of you. Lenore is especially good at that down there at the burger place, just Gilbert's. Yeah, fantastic joint. All right, now we got to get out of here. Lubie, it was kind of an easy day. Our NoFilter.net and Caffeine TV, I don't know. I didn't see this yet. But Johnny Chan was a special guest of ours. We actually did that show yesterday around 12 o'clock Eastern. And a lot of fun, Johnny Chan. Some interesting stories that he had about how he got into the game and all of this different stuff. I mean, it's a degenerate's dream to talk to Johnny Chan. So you might look for that. Caffeine TV, the morning briefing. And I couldn't find it, Lubie. I keep punching it up. It usually has like the previous days.
Yeah,
but hard for me to locate the one that we do. Normally, we put that together about 7:45 here Eastern time, and so it apparently is doing well. The morning briefing.
Wow, they do really well. They do really well.
Yeah.
People are finding it, which is really cool.
So that's nice. So you can catch that Johnny Chan special interview. You put that up on. Well, that's not video though. The Believe podcast.
Yeah, it's on Believe. It's just the audio.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see. I know Leslie was doing stuff with it, so I'm sure it's there somewhere. I just don't see it.
Okay. All right. We'll find it. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Later on, a replay on or it might be an original, because you and Mayo sneak off to all kinds of exotic locations to do additional versions of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, especially when either you or he are going to be out of town.
Yep.
Yeah. So
we're at a place called Elizabetta's in West Palm Beach. And that is what you'll see today. It was a really
Okay, cool.
Who's a part of the Big Time Restaurant group. She's a renowned chef, and she actually, I guess, goes to all the restaurants and like overseas.
How was that place? It looked like it was pretty good.
So they opened up Bar Capri. They opened up a rooftop bar, and that's what they're focusing on. So
yeah,
they did not do what all the places.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They brought out a charcuterie. She called it a salumi. The Italian version of a charcuterie, meats, cheeses, crackers, and they brought out a pizza, and all of it was fantastic. And
good.
It was great. It's over the Intercoastal. It's really cool. It's a really cool spot in West Palm Beach.
I could see someone indignant, Mike Mayo, saying, "Hey, could I get something to eat around here?"
It's literally what we did. She was we're like, we'd love to showcase the food.
Those stone crabs look tempting. Yes.
We did not go stone crabs or anything of super high level, but the pizza was great and the charcuterie was really good.
All right, good. All right, that's going to air 1 o'clock today.
1 o'clock right here.
Let's
Yes.
Eat South Florida, and that Facebook page, 150,000 strong.
Yes.
Pretty amazing phenomenon there, and very useful for. I mean, finding places. It never ceases to amaze me, Lubie, and it's not like I looked much more deeply into this since we've been doing this, but the number of excellent restaurants that there are in South Florida.
It's fantastic.
And per square foot or square mile, I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. A guy was telling me about an Italian joint in Pompano that I never heard of.
Mm.
And, I travel around here in this area, quite significantly and go to a variety of different destinations. And I don't remember passing this place. He said it just opened up. And it would be in a small area that probably had 3 or 4 absolutely outstanding Italian restaurants.
Okay.
That are all thriving. So I mean, but it's incredible. Is this the case in other cities? I mean,
yeah, all over the place. That's what's cool about this show is we've learned that throughout South Florida, east, west, north, south, there's
everywhere. Yeah,
hidden gems, quote unquote, as they say, that you didn't even know were under your own nose. I mean, again, Arun's Indian Kitchen, place that may have been going to for years, is down the street from my house. We'd been living in that house for like three years and had never heard of the place, and it's like renowned all around South Florida. Like it's really cool that we have that all over our area.
Good stuff. And you do get allusions to a lot of these places on Let's Eat South Florida. So subscribe if you haven't already, and then check out Mike Mayo's Lunchbox.
Yes.
Today featuring Lubie dining seaside in West Palm Beach from a very elegant location. All right, we're going to see you guys tomorrow. We'll have the full-fledged programming lineup, including a live appearance at Batch.
Yes.
Southern Kitchen, and that's a great spot. That one. See, I don't know that I would be inclined right away to think, okay, Southern food. You're thinking it's going to be kind of heavy, and can I really afford to eat this right now? But wow, it's delicious. I mean, you talk about tremendous flavors, and you can get away without necessarily gorging yourself.
Exactly.
On a lot of fried and heavy carb type of stuff, and they do feature another one of those places that I like where you can get a great salad there, even though everybody else is chowing down on like the fried chicken or the brisket sandwich or one of the big burgers that they have there. So we'll be there tomorrow, and look forward to seeing people out there. And Friday we'll be at Gulfstream Park with the Mike Mayo Lunchbox Show, and we'll join you right here in the usual spot tomorrow with both of our morning briefing and the Defo Show. Should have the trivia challenge tomorrow, right? Gurgle's on board.
Gurgles is in trivia challenge. Yep.
All right, so that'll be a lot of fun. All right, we have to get out of here. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Andy, we wish you all the best here today. I don't know. They've been doing a surgery a day on this kid. That's not good. Sarni was locked up in there for like a month, and now Andy is in for a long stretch. And thank God both of those guys purchased timeshares at local hospitals. So we're wishing you all the best, Andy, and we'll be with you all day thinking about your quick recovery from this nonsense. See you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest. We'll see you next time as we leave you now that.
The time.
It's 9:07.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.